All right, so I got this done, so this goes down, and that works great. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and actually a little more with, what's it? Oh, let's get rid of that one. A little more with this. What I'm going to do is, oh, I'm still in record mode for whatever reason. Make sure I have this off. Is I'm just going to go ahead and create a midground or a background, midground and foreground elements. So where you see the sorting layer here, I'm going to add some sorting layers. So we'll do background. Right, then we'll do midground, and then I'll do foreground. And these will be my basic layers. Okay. Go back to this, and now I can actually add this one to background. And since this is the most back element, I'm going to go ahead and just leave that at 0. And it's on always animate, and that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to go to project, and I am going to grab this building top, and we're going to put it up here. And I'm going to create an empty, and I'm going to call this building, oops, with the capitals, building 01. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top, I'm going to drop it on here, and we are going to, in the sorting layers, put this on background as well, and I'll put this on layer 1. Okay, so in the order of the layer, it's 1, so it's 1 above the background. Okay, and that looks like that. So let's see, I need this obviously to be smaller. Let's just manually scale this and try to make it the size that I think. Actually, you know what, instead of manually doing it, I'm going to go ahead and go into this, and we will try, let's see, it's at 12. It needs to be roughly a quarter of that size, so we need to multiply this times 4, so 48 would probably be about right. 48's 2, let's try 32. And apply. And it still seems a little small. 24, and apply. And 24 is too big. So 30. Let's see, W, I just want to put it in a position where, yeah, we'll see something. We'll say, oops, sorry, here. We'll leave it at 30. Okay, so that's on there. And I'm just going to go ahead and make these also 30, these 3 here, because they're going to go in conjunction with this. So I'll make this 30, and I'll hit apply. All right. So now what I'm going to do is take this building here. So I'm going to make sure this is 0, 0, 0. And this building top, I'm going to 0 this out as well. Okay, so it's all nicely in the zeros. And you can see it right there. And I'm going to go to the animation, and I'm going to go ahead and create. And we'll call this building. Called building top. Save. Good. And I'm going to add a property. It's going to be the transforms, and it's going to be position. Okay. So now the other one happens over 5, so this should also happen over 5. So I'm just gonna, okay, take this, drag this to 5. Good. And basically I need this. It's actually probably going to have to be more than 5, I'm assuming. We'll see. It should end. Get there. Okay. So I need it to start outside of frame. So we'll say something like this. And then to end basically out of frame like that. So let's hit play and see what that looks like. That is kind of weird. So there, and then for some weird reason, it pops back at the last minute. So I'm going to do is I'm going to go to curves, and let's see, F to frame. You can see it goes whoop, which makes no sense. So I'm going to take this one and, hang on a second. There appears to be 2 keyframes here, so that's kind of weird. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this previous one. Good. And now I'll go back to curves, and I'll hit F to frame. Okay, now it's linear. That looks better. All right, there just was apparently an extra. So dope sheet and curves. This one gives you just the keys. This one actually gives you the curves of how the animation's being interpolated. All right, so now let's go ahead and see what that looks like. And okay, so roughly okay, so I'm looking at it and it looks to me like, let me see something, and let's see. So it starts out of frame, and that all looks fine, but it's not going all the way down, unfortunately. So it's only getting to basically the middle one, and it's got still 2 more to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and we will drag this. Let's try 8 minutes, and I will put this over here, and we'll move this down and off screen and see what that looks like. So it needs to get off screen. That's my main concern right now. Okay, so it does it, but you can see it's happening too fast, right? So I'm just gonna pause that, go back into record mode. So all I really got to do is just take this and drag it out farther. Let's try 10 minutes, or 10 seconds, sorry. And let's hit play. Well, it's only doing it on this one. I want to hit play up here so I can see it both. Okay. And that looks about right. So basically 10 was the right amount. Now, what I want to do is sort of fake a perspective with this. So what would happen is it would start off up here more like this, because you would see more of the front, okay? And then down here at the end, it would be farther across like this. So let's see if that looks right. Let's watch this one here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so that's what I want. I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, so now what I'm going to do is underneath here, I am going to take this building blue. We'll just start with this one, and I'm going to drop it underneath this. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put this onto the background, and we will put it on level 3. So it's just one above the other. And I'm going to go ahead and move it a little bit below the actually we'll do this. I'm going to make another create empty, make another game object. I'm going to zero this out, and I'm going to take that and parent it to this, and I'm going to call this one building front. Oops. Building front. I'm going to take this building blue and put it in front of it like that. Okay. And I'm going to take this and put it here like so. And I am going to add animation to it. And I'm just going to add a property to this, and it's going to be the building front. And I'm going to do a transform, and I'm going to do a position, and I'm also going to do oops, not building top, building front, transform. We're also going to do scale. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off at the top here with it like that. That looks fine. But then here, I basically want this building front, I want to scale it kind of basically flat and have it right underneath this. So what'll happen is that as it goes, it's scaling flat but also being moved like so. Alright, so let's hit play and see if this looks like a 3D illusion. And you can see, looks pretty good. Okay. And it gives a kind of like a 3D-esque thing going on, which is pretty cool. Okay. Awesome. That looks pretty good. I am pretty happy with that. And now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to the project here. And we are going to basically, I'm going to take this one put underneath there, and I'm going to take this. Okay, and I'm also going to take this one doing it here. So the reason why I did on building front is this way it'll apply to any one of these. Okay, as long as I zero them. For some reason the Y is in the wrong spot. It'll apply to any one of these, so they'll all have it applied. I'll grab both of these, and they will both be under background, and they'll both be 2. Okay, so you'll see if I turn this one off, the green one's right below it, and it's automatically being positioned in the same way as the other one. So you can see, well, now it's showing red, but you get the idea. Okay, so I'm going to turn this one on, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this one off, and I'm going to turn this one off, and I'm going to save this real quick, and we're going to make these prefabs so that we can basically instantiate these buildings whenever we want. So I'm going to go to prefabs. I'm going to take this building as a whole, building 1, and actually we're going to do Control D and Control D. So we'll have 3 different buildings. I'm going to call this building 2, 0, 2, and then we'll have building 3. And what I'm going to do is just turn on for each one. So this one, oops, good, I got the other 2 off. And then this one, I'm going to turn this one off. And I'll turn this one on. And then in this one, I'm going to turn this one off. And I will turn the third one on. Okay, so basically these are the 3 buildings. And I'm just going to take each one of these, and I'm going to drop them into prefabs. And then I can make these happen whenever I want. So I have 3 different buildings that all have 3 different animations. Well, 3 of the same animation. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete these. I don't really need them anymore. But so we got that set up, and that is looking good. So I got a neat little like pseudo 3D thing going on, which is pretty awesome sauce. Good. All right. So next, what we're going to do, let me look at my sprites here. And what we have, I did the buildings. Oh, we also need to do the grass. Okay, so for that one, it's going to be kind of like what we do. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go to my prefabs here. I'm just going to take one of these, drop it up here. And what I am going to do is take this and delete it. Yes, I do want to break the prefab instance. So now this is no longer a prefab down here. And I am going to call this grass. All right, because this has the animation of moving down. And so whatever I attach to it, it will move it at the same speed as that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the grass to this one right here. And we will make this a background, and it will also be a level 2. And hopefully, I might have to adjust it though. More than likely I will. I doubt it's going to be actually, yeah. Because see how it's not running at the same speed as everything else? So that's actually not going to work because unlike the other thing, I don't want it to do that. So that was a bad idea. Never mind. We're going to have to just do this one separately. Okay, so I'm just going to do grass. And I'm basically going to go to animation. We'll create. And I'm going to call this grass. And we will add a property. And it will be a transform. And it will be position. And the other key needs to be, if you remember, at 10. So I'm going to grab this one. And it's going to go here. And we're going to go to the first frame. Go here. And basically, I need this to be off frame. So we'll put it right on this one. And then we will go here. And this one will go just off frame. We'll say, we'll try here. And let's see what that looks like. So I'm a little bit off on the second one. So it's got to go down a little bit more. It's starting to slip a little. I'm just kind of guesstimating, obviously. So it's hard to be exact with some of this. There we go. So it's going to go down just a touch more. Let's see how that looks. And it's pretty good. Okay. Pretty good at eyeballing it. Oh, I slipped a little. That's good enough for now. I don't really care that much. Okay. And we will save that. And I'm going to go to projects. I'm going to go to assets, prefabs. I'm going to take my grass and we'll drop it in there. And now that's another prefab. So basically you can grab any one of these 3 objects and it's going to plop them in there. Which you will see momentarily. So let's go back to sprites. Okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, so the next thing to do basically are the characters. So we will do him next, and then we'll do the player last, and that way it'll all be set up. And then it's just going to be about instantiating them and to be created, and that's it. So we will do that next.